Daniels Jr., who's a former NFL player. I'm going to send him the link right now. He's a really nice guy. I'll just say one thing. I was running a little bit late, and I told him, hey, I'm running a little bit late. And he wrote to me in an email, you don't have to rush. Just let me know. I can be flexible. Anything that you're doing, let it be without strain. I am here. In gratitude, Prince. What a princely thing to say. It's beautiful. Okay, I'm just gonna here. Please join via this link. Okay, thank you. Okay. So I think Giovanna is checking on the streams right now.
Yeah, I just got a notification that it's live. So
okay. So it is live. I guess Giovanna's checking on the streams. Oh, I can see there's 4 people watching right now. Hi, everybody. If you guys want to ask questions, we're going to be talking to Prince Daniels Jr., and former NFL player who is now a meditation teacher, and seems like a really cool guy. If you have questions, just feel free to message. Well, basically just post a comment in Facebook or YouTube, and we will see the questions here, and maybe we'll even ask them to Prince for you. Okay, so let's just wait for Prince to join. I think he's going to join in a minute. I think we're good. And Giovanna's checking. Yeah, Giovanna said both of the streams are good, so I think we're good to go. Oh, all right, Forrest, you wanna talk about a little bit of a game plan of what you want to talk about with Prince?
Yeah, well, he's written a few different books. One of them is kind of talks about how meditation can be used for athletes or high performers of any kind to increase their performance, which is something I'm really interested about. And he also wrote an allegory for children teaching mindfulness. So I'm definitely going to ask him about that, because I love those kinds of books, like The Alchemist, where they teach a really deep and profound message, but through a story that, children can really attach to. So that, yeah, I mean, when I was speaking with you, I was kind of referring to him as somebody who has a big heart, and that's obvious whenever you watch some of his interviews. But as much as I have researched, I've not seen anybody who has asked him about that children's book. So that's something that, I think,
that you want to ask him about.
Yeah, that's definitely cool. Amongst many other things, for sure.
Yeah, I'm going to, I wanted to, actually, we're going to start it with a couple of meditations. So basically my plan for this is we're going to start it with a couple of meditations. He actually does guided meditations, Prince does guided meditations. So maybe we'll do a breath work, and then we'll guided meditation from him. Yeah. And then to talk about his story a little bit. And I kind of want to hear about what the NFL was like as somebody who grew up with spirituality. Apparently he did grow up with spirituality. So I think that would be a really interesting thing to talk about.
Yeah, there's a guy who did the foreword for a new book. His nickname is Megatron because he's huge, and he's a star player for sure. And I think he recently retired, but he was, definitely one of the best wide receivers, in the game, during this time. And so he's very well known, and he wrote the foreword for this book that Prince is the author of. So I definitely want to also ask him, related to being in the NFL, if he knows any other athletes that are using practices like meditation in a functional way, which I'm sure he'll have a lot to say about that. But yeah, I mean, I know we're going to have a very interesting conversation. So
yeah, for sure. So I'm just want to make sure you got the link. Let's see here. Oh, there he is. Okay, I'm going to add him here. Hey, Prince, we can, I think we can hear you, but we can't see you.
Okay, let me see how I can fix that.
I think there's a little camera button at the bottom below the video that you could see me and Forrest.
Yes.
I think you have to make sure that camera button is on.
Okay, it's on. But what I was trying to do was change. Let me go to settings. Okay, here we go. Video. All right, here we go.
There you are.
Nice. There we go. Hey,
Hello, how are you doing
what's up,
today?
Prince? How are you doing?
Audio is better too. Hey.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
You got a nice mic. Yeah, I got the Yeti Nano over here. It's a little
Yeah.
off screen. There. I'm trying not to.
I had it, but then I decided to get this Zoom microphone. It sounds really good.
Yeah, it
Nice.
does.
Yeah.
Nice.
So,
Okay, I jostled this around a little bit. You guys can still hear me, right?
yeah,
you're
most
good.
definitely.
Awesome.
Can I use the restroom real quick?
Yeah, sure.
All right. Give me 1 second.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So that's Prince Daniels Jr. and we are going to be speaking with him momentarily. And he's a former NFL player. If you're just joining us now, I'm excited about the conversation because we haven't had like a pro sports player yet. Like this is our first interview with a pro sports player, which I think is pretty cool. We have done really interesting interviews in the past, like the Wim Hof and others, but Deepak Chopra, all these people.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Sadhguru. Yeah, I got all these things set up over here.
By the way, whenever I get issues from you, is there any way that I could like get a couple Sadhguru and a couple Deepak ones, or is the only way because we're in America that I only get the Deepak ones?
No, I can get you both. I can send you both. Just let me know which ones you want.
Okay.
By the way, if anybody's just joining us, that basically you can, if you subscribe to Meditation Magazine, if you're not already subscribed, you'll get our newest issues just came out. Oh, hey, what's up? What's up, Prince? How you doing? Hi, Prince. While we were waiting for you, we were just showing off some of our newest issues. Check these out. Do you see these?
Yes, Deepak and Sadhguru.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
man, that's awesome.
I know you know this guy, right? This guy?
Wim Hof. Yeah, man. It seems like the higher I get, the more and more people, I start to meet, and I'm like, hey, I know that person. So that's awesome, man.
Nice.
Congratulations on that.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, Wim Hof's one of my favorites personally. Like, and I mean, I love Sadhguru too. I really enjoy the people that we interview.
Yeah.
I'm excited to interview you today. We were just saying that you're the first pro sports player that we've interviewed on our podcast / magazine. So I think that's pretty
awesome.
Cool.
Dang, thank you so much. Is my sound in the back? Is it backwards or is it okay?
No, you're right.
Like it's okay. We can see it.
Okay.
Yeah.
To me, it looks backwards. Okay. All right.
Sounds
good.
Yeah, man. Here, I'll put you in the middle there. By the way, so just so you know, like we're streaming live right now. Is that cool with you?
Yeah, that's cool with me. See it. I was just like, I just went to the restroom and then
that's cool, man. It's good. I like it when there's just life, like real life happening. You know what I mean?
Let's do it.
On the Deepak interview, we started with like 7 minutes of technical difficulties. It was amazing.
I love this already.
He was talking about trying to get his ear pads to work. His ear pads were connected.
Oh,
it was amazing. That was one of my favorite parts of that whole interview. So yeah, just life happening, the messiness, the imperfection, because I think when people try to be perfect, and like try to project perfection, I think it's not really healthy. I like it better that when people are just expressing reality, just expressing themselves like as they are. You know what I mean?
Nice. Yeah, I enjoy the authenticity. We don't have to be artificial, right? So
yeah, dude.
Awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. All right. So just to introduce ourselves, I'm Kevin. I'm the founder of Meditation Magazine. This is Forrest. He's one of our chief correspondents, and obviously Prince Daniels Jr., former NFL player. You were running back for the Baltimore Ravens, which is pretty cool. And then unfortunately had a bunch of injuries that kind of ended your career effectively.
Yeah. Correct.
Yeah. So what I've read about you is that basically you came to meditation as a way to deal with that loss of identity from having like basically had this career that was like your whole life, and then it was gone, and then you were all depressed, and you came to meditation to try to work with that and to transcend that and find yourself in a certain way. And through that, you found like your own kind of purpose in life, which I think you called the game beyond the game life.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
I like that. And now you have a new book out called Mindfulness for the Ultimate Athlete, and you're teaching meditation and helping other athletes kind of find themselves in that certain way. Is that about right?
That's about right. You're on point, man. So
Nice.
I love it.
Yeah, I actually did some research for this one.
Nice. I appreciate that. Yeah, that was well put, beautifully said. Yeah, spend time at the monastery,
Wow.
and really, really need to transcend and transform my life, man. So, I'll stop doing all the talking and let you ask the question. I'll talk.
No, man, no. This is a conversation. I want to hear about the monastery. What was it like at the monastery? What monastery
Initially,
was it? Which monastery was it?
So it's a. Oh, I'm still here. Okay, there we
Yeah,
go.
you're here.
Right.
I made you big for a second. I made you big.
Oh,
but
okay. All right, sounds good. Sounds good. Yeah. So the monastery is in the Ozark Mountains in Arkansas, and yeah. So like I usually share it with people like outside of my interview. Yeah, because I enjoy the fact that I can still go and I have some sense of privacy. So it's my way of being able to get away, and go live in the mountains. But it's domestic. It's in the U.S. and in the Ozark Mountains in Arkansas. So I spend my time there. What was it like, man? I would be lying to you if I tell you that it was peachy Q, from day one, or like a movie, right? Yeah. I went in and having these expectations, thinking that, from all of the movies that I've seen, the Bruce Lee movies, the Five Deadly Venoms, the Kung Fu movies, and Kung Fu Panda, and the last Avatar, Aang. The Airbender,
show, right? The TV show,
right? The TV show on Nickelodeon, which is like is a phenomenal show,
best
and
TV show ever, man.
Right, and so I went in and I was just like, I'm gonna get the juice. And it was not like that from day one. So I went in thinking that something grave was going to happen, and it did not. It was just more so. I was asked 3 questions, like, do you do a couple of world things, like do you smoke, do you drink, do you, which is a funny question, like, do you believe in, Jesus, right? And
what? It's hard to hear a little bit. Wait, can you say that again? Do you believe in what?
In Jesus.
Oh, okay.
Right. And I was like, huh? I was very hesitant because I didn't know how to answer that question. And I I was leaving the worldly things and the religious stuff behind to come into a monastery and be like, yeah, I believe in Jesus, but like, what does that have to do with anything, right? And so, it was like, do, right? And so I was like, oh, okay. I didn't know it was a big deal, right? And then it's just like, Yeshua, Jesus, and I was just saying, like, why are you asking this? And then he said, do believe, in the Christ, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so from that moment forward, just like, all right, well, where are we going with this? So he asked me those 3 questions, and then he said, why are you here? And I was just like, I had a dream, and I'm connected with the energy, so I just felt that it was right for I'm here. No, let me you, because I had 2 uncles that are already attending this monastery, and so that's how I was able to just kind of transition my way into the monastery. And so I'm there. So this is like my first time meeting the spiritual leader at the monastery. And I'll never forget that I was in it was such a concentrated and intense space that the energy was equivalent to like danger, right? You know, whenever you experience danger, you know right away, like, oh, that's danger, gotta go. But I was in the presence of the energy, and it was so high and so fully concentrated that in my head, you know, my whole body was feeling the vibration. I was like, I need to run. Then I said to myself, like, but how can you run? Like, we're in the forest, like far away. You don't even know where you are. It's just like, So it forced me to sit, right? And I had to like recalibrate, you know, myself on my first visit to the monastery. Then after that, it was just like, are you here to just to visit, or are you here to practice? You know, and it's like and so he was just like, okay. He's like, meditation is in 2 hours. Here's a book, and gave me one of the smallest books that I've ever laid my hands on. It was about this big. It's about that big, about this big. And I think it was like the Human Regeneration book or something like that. I know I still have it somewhere. And I remember flipping through the book. I was like, wow, this is cute. This is a cute book. All right. It's opened it and started reading it, and I read it, and I gave it back. And you know, waiting for another book, they sent back the same book. Like, like, this is an easy read. Like, are you insulting my intelligence, right? And so I read that book 3 times, and because the second time I did the exact same thing, they sent it right back, and I was just like, what is going on? Like, so this from the minute I got there to me reading that book to meditation to everything, it just disrupted my whole belief system and the way that I process things and I thought about doing things. And so when you are thrusted into an uncomfortable space, you either run or you sit through it. And so I had to sit through it. So, you know, like day 1 was like everything was in shock. My body, my mind, my spirit. You know, day 2 was like, what are we doing here? You have lost your mind. So you have this internal battle with yourself, as in like, I'm being brainwashed. What's going on? I have lost my mind. Like, why am I here? Like, think of it of an escape plan.
I definitely before. I sometimes I used to travel around a lot, like interviewing people, like gurus and stuff. I was in Laos. I was in this like monastery that they like were saying that their spiritual leader was like the only one who was enlightened in the world, and she came from like another planet and whatever. And like it was starting to really freak me out, and it was like my wife was all freaked out, and like we were in the middle of nowhere in Laos. We had to sleep on the floor in like the in like this like mosquito filled room, and we literally had to like escape in the middle of the night. But like, usually you don't have to escape from those. But usually it's like your mind is just trying to. When you go to a monastery, you know, you have to face yourself, face your own demons. You know what I mean? Face all your thoughts and all your like stresses and everything. Yeah. And it becomes like that. I think a lot of the time it becomes like a I have to run away kind of feeling. And it's good that you didn't run away. It sounds like you benefited a lot from that place, right?
Man, yeah. So day 3, everything just settled. And from that point on, I was just like, okay, it's not that bad. Right. And then from after day 3, you know, just you kind of settle into the vibration and the frequency that's being cultivated there. And from there, you know, just went on and started find joy in the process, and you know, everything just unraveled itself. And so you know, been able to do things that I'm doing right now.
And that's a cool story. But listen, can I ask you a question? So I sometimes you're like breaking up a little bit. We heard all the audio, but sometimes like the video kind of got like paused or whatever. So like Forrest, are you able to see Prince or no? Like when he's like talking, you're able to see him talking.
There's a little bit of feedback, but I mean for the most part you can hear mostly everything. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So is there anything I need to do? Do I need to try to?
No, I think you're good unless there's a way you could improve your internet. I think it's maybe your internet is a little slow right now.
All right, let me see.
I wouldn't unplug it though, because then you're gonna just fall off.
Oh man.
All right, let's hopefully that works. I just rerouted the antennas. So
okay, cool.
All right, so yeah, hopefully that will work. Hang on, let me just see. Let me see what happens. Just give me a second to play with some settings.
Okay.
Let's see here. Just seeing if I'm gonna put you off for a second and on. Okay. I don't know. I guess it's fine. We can hear you pretty well, so it's cool.
Okay.
Sometimes it's like a little bit grainy on the video, but it's fine.
Okay. Then I'll make sure I don't move then.
Okay. Yeah. Just stay exactly still, and then everything will be fine. So, just kidding. Anyway, hey, listen. Do you want to do some meditations to kind of like kick off our conversation? We already sort of started our conversation, but you want to like do some meditations to like really get us like our juices flowing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah. Okay. So what I was thinking is that we could do two meditations. One is like a breath work, and like one is like your style of guided meditation. Because I watched some YouTube videos before. And I saw you were doing a guided meditation where you like kind of tense up and then relax. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to do I hear like I'll lead us in like a little breath work like for like 3 minutes or 4 minutes, and then you lead us in that one where you tense up for a few minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Do you ever do Wim Hof breathing?
Yes and no. I met Wim Hof at an EO event. You know what EO is? Entrepreneurs Organization.
Nice.
So so I met him at an entrepreneur organization. They hired him to come. So we spoke briefly, and he was doing his breathing exercise, and it was before his interview. And he looked at me, I looked at him. And he was breathing, and I was breathing as well. So we were both breathing before his interview, because that's just once you lock into a certain space, you just understand like, okay, calibrate yourself, get ready for the unknown, for whatever, and so you go through the breath cycle, so you control your breathing and don't allow it to control you. And so it was one of those moments where it was intense. He was getting ready to speak. I was getting ready to listen to him, and so, we were both breathing at the same time. So he winked his eye at me, I winked my eye at him, and we took a picture together, and and that was pretty much it. Yeah,
that's cool.
So
that's cool.
Yeah.
That sounds like fun. That sounds like a fun event. Hey, here, wait, before we do the meditations, I have an idea about the internet for you. Do you have? I'm guessing you have a smartphone, right? Do you have one near you? Okay, so here, can you click on the link in the email on the smartphone? And so like, remember I sent you an email with a link in it?
Right.
Yeah, if you click on that link in your phone, it should work. It might even work better than what you have right now. I want to try it.
Okay.
And yeah, it won't have the fancy microphone, but it will be a lot better of a connection, I think.
It needs to be open in Google Chrome, correct?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. All right. All right, so my phone is downloading Google Chrome real quick.
Okay. In the meantime, oh, I guess it will be pretty quick, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we can see you okay right now, actually. So, all right. So let's take a minute. Let's do that breath work first. You want to do that breath work with me?
Let's do it. Yeah, most definitely.
As it's downloading on your phone. So, so basically, the instructions for this meditation, because I'm going to be doing it too, so like I can't tell you at the same time, is basically you're gonna like hyperventilate, basically. So like hyperventilating is like as deep as you can. You're taking these breaths as deep as you can and as fast as you can. So just watch what I'm going to do for a second. Like that. Okay. So we're going to do like hyperventilate for like a minute.
Yeah.
And then we're just going to like leave the breath out completely. So it's just like basically exhale and you just like leave it out and you just like are empty of air for like a minute. And then when you can't hold that exhale any longer, then you take a huge deep inhale and like fill your whole torso like a balloon, and you just hold that for like a minute. So it's basically like hyperventilation, then long exhale, then long inhale. Pretty simple. You got it?
Got it.
And the more intensely you hyperventilate, the more intense you'll start to feel like tingling in your whole body. You'll feel tingling in your head and your face and your hands. Like it fills your whole blood with oxygen. All your blood gets filled with oxygen. So we'll do like, let's say 2 rounds of that. So hyperventilate, exhale, inhale, and then hyperventilate, exhale, inhale. Are you ready?
Okay. I'm ready.
You ready? Okay.
Trying to give me the pass out. No,
you probably won't pass out. If you do pass out, then we'll call 911 for you. But I'm sure it'll be fine.
No, I'm just playing, man. This is Wim Hof's breathing technique. This is awesome.
Yeah, unlikely that you'll pass out. If you start to see a tunnel closing in, then maybe hold off on the hyperventilating. But if you start feeling tingling, that's normal. Like tingling and dizzy, that's normal. Are you ready?
Right.
All right, let's go. Let's start the hyperventilating.
All right.
And you'll hold the exhale as long as you can. Yeah, just hold it out as long as you can. You may feel tingling in your whole body. Just hold it out. Feel the tingling in your whole body. Feel your body as it sits here. When you can't hold the exhale any longer, fill your entire body with air, just inflating your torso like a balloon whenever you're ready. And just feel your entire body sitting here full of air. And when you can't hold that inhale any longer, we're going to go back into one more round of the rapid breathing of the hyperventilation and then do the exhale and inhale again. All right, let's do it. And now hold the exhale as long as you can. Exhale as deeply as you can. And feel there. Feel your entire body tingling. Feel your entire body sitting here tingling with energy. All your blood filled with oxygen. And when you can't hold the exhale any longer, at your own pace, take a huge deep inhale, inflating your chest and your torso with air. And just feel your entire body sitting here, full of oxygen. All your cells completely awake and alive with oxygen and energy. And at your own pace, come back into normal breathing whenever you're ready. Yeah. Yeah. How does that feel? How's that feel for you, Forrest? I think Prince is still feeling the buzz. Nice. Yeah, yeah, man. That really gets me buzzing, you know.
Nice.
I love that meditation. Yeah.
Nice. I love it. You're
Yeah,
cultivating.
man. It's from an ancient pranayama called Bellows Breath. And Wim Hof has adapted it for the modern world pretty well. Made it really simple.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love it, man.
Yeah, man.
Beautiful.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'll do the one that you wanted me to do.
Nice.
It's about the relaxation.
Yeah, dude.
You know, we grow up not really understanding about how to relax. You hear someone say, "Relax, just relax," but it's like trying to tell a blind person about yellow, the color yellow, right?
Yeah.
It's like, it's yellow. Like, okay, well, describe it. So yeah, you know, for a long time I wanted to know how to relax, and so I tell people, in order to understand relaxation, you have to understand the opposite of relaxation, which is tension. So in this practice, what we do, we go through a breath cycle. You inhale as deep as possible. You hold your breath at the top and you tense all your muscles in your body. And from tensing all your muscles, I ask you to exhale. When you exhale, I'm asking you to relax. Release all the tension and let it go. So then that way you can feel the relaxation instead of someone just trying to tell you to relax and you're trying to analyze it. You know, and so we'll go through the cycle. I'll just do two for today. And what's going to happen is when we hold our breath at the top, we're going to tense every single muscle. I want you to grit your teeth, you know, squint your eyes, you know, squint your facial, tighten your quads, your toes, anything that you can tense, do that. And then when we exhale and relax, allow for all of that to just let go.
Okay, I'm ready.
Sit up straight wherever you are. I want you to sit up as if you feel with supreme confidence. I want you to roll your shoulders back. Stick your chest out. We're going to go through this breath cycle. I'm going to ask you to inhale as deep as possible through your nostril or through the back of your throat. Everyone inhale. Hold it at the top. Now I want you to tense every single muscle in your body right now. 3 seconds. Tense. 1, 1,000. 2, 1,000. 3, 1,000. Open your mouth and with control. Relax all the muscles inside of you and let that air go. Elongate the exhale. Let your shoulders drop. Good. Now inhale. And then exhale. Now relax. Just be. Don't try to do any sudden movements. Just allow yourself to be where you are. Feel the relaxation. It speaks to you. You feel it. I want you to inhale as deep as possible through your nostrils or the back of your throat. Inhale. Hold it at the top. Now I want you to tense every single muscle in your body. Tense. Tense. 2, 3. Open your mouth and with control, relax your body and let everything go. All the air outside of you. Now inhale. And then a nice relaxing exhale. Let it go. For the next 15 seconds, just allow yourself to be in a relaxed state. Beautiful. Now wiggle your nose and wiggle your toes. And slowly and gently open your eyes and come out of your practice.
Nice. That was awesome, dude. Wow.
I love that.
Yeah, that was great. Wow,
Thank you.
that was such a nice, like, so fast, like such a fast way to quickly find that relaxation and that presence.
Yeah. I've perfected that one, but I've been working on that one for a very long time. But yeah, it's beautiful, man. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
I really like that, you know, for a lot of reasons. You know, for one, you know, how quick it is. And also, you know, how I sort of got involved with Kevin was, you know, I kind of had a meditation practice that was kind of like the practice itself was very much like these breathing exercises where I would put myself in uncomfortable circumstances and I would just allow myself to sit there for as long as it took to just chill out, you know, and to be okay with what's going on. And
Right.
and you know, I would put myself in a lot of circumstances that people might look at it like, holy cow, like I don't know if I would ever do that. That you know, they might look at it in some weird kind of way. You know, like meditating in public kind of stuff. But to me, that really just spoke to, you know, my ability to find relaxation because like how you were just giving us an example, you're showing us what it feels like to be super tense, you know, super strained, which is probably how we feel most of the time. And then you're contrasting that with the relaxation. And so it makes it a lot easier, like you're saying, to understand what relaxation feels like. So, you know, I just, you know, I really appreciate the exercise that you shared with us. And I think it's going to help a lot of people who are watching this interview, either live or the recorded version, if they practice it.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
Thank you,
well
brother.
Hey, okay, so Prince, can you switch to your phone? We have maybe like 10, 15 more minutes. If you want, we can keep going a little bit longer. I don't know what your schedule is, but if
No,
you switch,
I have time. if you would
okay,
like.
cool. You want to switch to your phone? I know that both Forrest and I had some questions also.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I would say try to do it with your phone, not on Wi-Fi, like on the like you should do it on like 4G or whatever. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah. All right. So I'm on. Switch to Safari. The Stream Studio requires Safari to work on this device.
Oh,
What?
okay.
That's new.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Okay. I didn't even have to download Google then.
Okay, yeah, that's true, but it's cool.
All right. Mobile device support is limited. Switch to desktop computer for the best experience.
Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. Trust me, it
Okay.
works better on the phone. I think it will work better on your phone with
Okay.
with what do you call it? on the 4G, not on the Wi-Fi.
Okay. So let me go ahead and make this create this setup. Put my phone.
Oh, you just get it connected. Let's see if it works first. Let's just get it connected. Let's see if it works. Okay, I see you there. There you go. There you go. There you are. Okay, yeah, talk. Say something.
Hey.
Yes. Way better. All right.
Success.
Yeah,
I
there
close
we
this.
go. Oh, are you maybe is you getting an echo? Because you might still be watching it on the computer. If you're still watching it on the computer, you might get an echo.
Yeah.
No,
just turn the computer on.
Yeah, just turn off the computer.
Okay.
This is much better. I know it's like you got the fancy setup with the computer and everything.
Yeah.
That with the microphone, but the video and like everything is coming out much better now from the phone.
Okay. Sounds good.
You get surprised by everything. Yeah, man.
I think that's just how Restream works. It's not like necessarily anything technical on your end, but I've had difficulties with Restream as well. So
I think it's the internet connection. That's the main thing. But anyways, so Forrest, I know Forrest had a few questions for you. Prince,
Nice.
do you want to actually let's I want to start with one question and then we get into the.
What was that, Kevin?
So
Can you repeat that?
Oh, can you hear me? Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. I just want to ask you what your story is. I want to understand like what happened like when you were in the NFL, right? And then you like got all these injuries and you had to stop doing that. Like I want to hear your story of like what was that like? What was it like being an NFL player, like suddenly out of a job, out of a career, and like what was that like?
Yeah, beautiful. It was devastating. You know, it was a self-identity crisis. It was a blow to my ego. It was a moment where I didn't want to live anymore because of the external conditions. Right, you are dubbed as a gladiator, as a warrior, and the platform that you've worked so hard to get to, it has been stripped away from you, taken away from you, just like that, within the blink of an eye. And I speak to people a lot about transition, and most people ask me like, why did I go through such a like depressional or depressed stage in my life? And it's, you've been doing something for so long, you know, it becomes a part of your identity. You become a part of it. And it's like a doctor studying medicine, and they do their first procedure. And then afterwards, someone was like, you perform malpractice. No more procedures, go and choose a new career. And it's like, well, where do I start? I have all of these skills that are made for this platform and this environment. Like, I know I have other skills, but like, what else do I do? And where do we go from here? And there was no transition program that was put in place. Maybe there was, but it wasn't something that the players knew, right? And so for me, I didn't know anything. I didn't know where, you know, what was left, right, what was up, down. I just knew that I had to try to keep going. So what is it like? You get let go, your emotions are in it, and as an athlete, you're saying, "Oh, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay." But now you have to figure out all of the things that you've neglected for so many years. You've delegated those responsibilities to other people, like paying your bills, something as simple as paying your bills, something as simple as doing some of the chores that you. Now, when the money stops and you know, or the cash flow comes to a screeching halt, how do you process everything Like, how does everything work from there? Now you are in a new space, and it's the total opposite of Cheers. You know, where somewhere you want to go where somebody knows your name. You know, like it seems like nobody knows your name, and uh, you know, the praise that you receive uh, uh, allows for you to have a certain type of high, right? It helps your ego, and so now it's a blow to your ego. Now you're not getting that praise anymore, so now you feel deflated, and you just came down to like, this is my reality right now. So for me, that's how I was. I was like, this is my reality. So after the Ravens released me, I went and tried out for the Buffalo Bills, but I wasn't. I didn't get myself ready because I didn't even know what the next step was. What was the process? And so I didn't work out. So when I went to that workout, it wasn't the best workout at all. I was tired. I was gasping for air. I was just like, I'm out of shape. I don't even know why I'm out of shape. And I only been out of it for about 3 weeks, 3 to 4 weeks. And you know, I was just soaking in my own misery, just thinking about the past and what I could have done better, and not knowing that there was another opportunity for me. So I didn't do well with the Buffalo Bills tryout, so they didn't pick me up or tenure me. And after that, then I had this surge of energy, like, okay, but now it's time to get disciplined. And I got disciplined, and I worked out for the next 365 days of the year, but no one called me. No team, you know, nobody was interested in me. So it's just like I'm just blindly going out and working out in hopes of getting an opportunity. So to play on somebody's team. So, you know, in contact with your agent, but he can't really talk to you that much because he's dealing with the other guys. So then you get mad at him. So you fire him and you go and try to get a new agent. But when you try to get a new agent and you just fire one agent, they say we don't pick up people off the street. So now it's just kind of like in the middle between a rock and a hard place. And so from there, I still had all of this volatile and cantankerous energy left in me, right? And so I had to dump it somewhere or posit it somewhere, and that has muscles. When a feels, you know, to put down, you know, someone or exert a lot of force, right? That stays with them. And so when you enter the real world, you're not able to use all of those skills that you refine over and over again. Right? You don't have the outlet or the platform. And so now you got to figure out how to navigate in this uncharted territory that you're kind of familiar with, but not really, because you've been exempt from it because of your profession. And so you gotta make the right decisions, and you gotta have discipline to make those right decisions, because if not, you can easily fall prey to like your own thoughts, like, man, this is not fun. I need something that's going to excite me, you know, bring the excitement back. But there was nothing around that could do that, and I had to figure things out on my own. So from there, I had this self-identity crisis, which led to a depression, which led to suicidal ideation, to a suicide attempt. I created a 3-day plan to blow my head off. And the first 2 days, I practiced it. And the third day, I loaded my gun and I laid it on the ground and I covered it up with a blanket. And I remember going into my living room, and I called 7 people, and I wasn't, you know, I didn't know what was going to happen. I didn't know the outcome. Was I looking for someone to help me? Yes. But I didn't tell them my problem. Mm-hmm. 1, I was ashamed. 2, embarrassed. 3, I've been telling myself, you let yourself down. You're not enough. You're not deserving. How did you lose your first job? Like, how did you lose your first job? You're not a professional. Like, what's wrong with you? Like you're not enough. And man, that those conversations with myself exasperated, you know, my attempt to want to harm myself. So I'm in the living room. I've called 6 people: my my professor, one of my teammates. And you know, the funny thing is, I was depressed. So I called one of my teammates who was getting ready to go to practice. And so when I started talking to him, I could feel my depression lift. And I was just like, yeah, I was just reminiscing, you know, just being back with the Ravens, right? And then he was just, so the conversation was short. He was like, bro, I love you, man. Hope all is well, but I got to go. And the excitement came and went just like that. And then it made me angrier, you know, and I started really feeling the animosity that was internal. And so I'm sitting down, I called these individuals, and I didn't tell them anything that was going on with me. You know, I just wanted to hear something that someone would say that would make me feel better to get me out of this slump that I was in. And it wasn't until I called the seventh person, which was the spiritual leader at the monastery. And I just, you know, I was just like, this is my last phone call. And I just decided I wanted to open up and just say, you know, like just tell him everything that was going on, because this is my last lifeline before I go into my room. And I remember calling, and he picked up, and you know, I asked to speak to him, and so he said, "Speak." And I was just like, I want to kill myself. I lost my job. I lost my career. I lost my condo. I've lost this. I lost my woman. And I'm losing my mind. Like, I just wanted to end this all right here, right now, today. And I'm going to do it. And he said, "Are you done?" That was his response. So just like, so at that moment, that was the very first time I felt myself exhale, because he just took all the air from out of me and minimized all of my drama. Right. And he said, "You get what you are, you get what you pay for." You know, what you are is this plane of consciousness that you're traveling on, that you get according to your experiential need. The pay is the effort that you put into utilizing the information that is conducive to your higher spiritual self. So he said that, and then he was just like, "Meditate," and hung up the phone.
Wow.
And he did not. And so this is a very important point. He didn't tell me anything that I wanted to hear, but he said something that disrupted my thought process. And because the first thing I said was, how enough is meditation going to save me right now? I just told you what I'm going through. Like, you just gonna tell me meditate? Like, no, you give me those like what's going on? So luckily I had been going to the monastery. I started going to the monastery my second year at NFL. And it was for, because I was ready to zen out. I was ready to elevate my game so high that no one could stop me. You know, I was ready to dominate the game of football, because I saw it. I became a student of the game. The 500-page playbook became like 50 pages for me, because I started seeing like how everything worked. I was in the zone. I was in the matrix, and I could see every single thing. I increased my speed from a 4.5 to a 4.2 in 6 weeks. Like, I started understanding the offense. I started understanding the defense. I got kicked out of the offensive rooms because I was answering the questions and I wasn't allowing my teammates to answer those questions. So they just kicked me out of the room. So then I was just trying to figure out more and more, like, what else can I learn? And so, you know, so I'm learning all these things. Everything is coming together. They moved, you know, they saw me as a utility player. So I played running back, but they saw I could, you know, when I increased my speed and I had good hands, they were like, you can play wide receiver. It's like, well, yeah, I guess so. So they started putting me at wide receiver. So I'm playing running back, wide receiver, and I do a little bit of F back, fullback, you know, and so just coming out catching routes and maybe block one time. But as you can see, you know, things started working out for me. They start aligning itself, and then within the blink of an eye, I get hurt right before the season begins. All right, and so as I mentioned, luckily I had an opportunity to go to the monastery, because what happens is you have all of this energy, this residual energy from this platform that was taken away from you, and if you don't know what to do with all of that energy, you can self-destruct, right? And at that moment in time, I had all of this energy, and I didn't know what to do with it, and that's what I was looking to do, self-destruct. So after the hang up happens, meditate and hang up, then I go into my room. So as I go into my room, my meditation pillow is on the left hand side, and to the right side is my bathroom, and at the end of my bathroom is my closet, where my gun was. I had a Mossberg shotgun, and I'm in Texas. I'm just trying to give everybody the visual. I'm in Texas.
Yeah.
So you know, and as I'm going in, and I'm furious. I'm like, I'm about to do this, you know, and I look to the left, and there's this meditation pillow with a light, a ray of light shining on the meditation. Come on, get the hell out of here! Like, stop playing with my emotions, right? and because I'm in a battle with myself, right? Because there is this echo of, you're not enough. You let everybody down. You never, you know, like, how'd you lose your first job? Like, what's wrong with you, right? And so I look at this meditation pillow, and there's a light that's beaming on it. I'm just like, it has to be right by the window. I was like, this cannot be real, right? So I said to myself, all right. I said, okay, I'll reason with you. Just because this whole practice of meditation, this, you know, I really want to curse, because that's how I was feeling. You know, I was like, is it okay if I use a little bit of profanity?
Yeah, that's totally fine. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I'm just like, man, you know, like, how's this shit gonna work? How's this meditation shit gonna work? Like, what is he talking about? So I go and sit. I said to myself, okay, I'll give you a 1 hour. If nothing happens in this 1 hour, I'm going to go and carry out my plan. So I go and sit on my meditation pillow. And when I go and sit down, my posture is off. I'm not able to sit up. I'm moving around. I'm experiencing so much pain in my hips. You know, like, so much pain to the point where I was sweating. I was profusely sweating. All right. And like around like 35 minutes, that's when my hips usually start to hurt, because I'm sitting in a lotus position, and I had big legs at the time, so it was pretty difficult. You know, I'm trying to force myself to do something that my body is like, we're not able to do this, right? So around like 57 minutes, I opened my eye up to peek at the time, which is something that you definitely don't do during meditation. But I was in so much pain, I was ready to run away. But I kept telling myself, no, you said 1 hour, commit to this 1 hour, commit to this 1 hour. So those last 3 minutes were those defining moments in my life where, you know, I was just like, man, whatever. So I took a nice deep inhale, and I exhaled. And when that happened, the outside of my knees fell to the ground. It just hit the ground, like, boom. And when it hit the ground, my energy from my body went up into my brain, my mind.
Wow.
And from there, I was in such it was a space where it was so quiet. I was like the mechanic and the engineer of my thoughts. So it wasn't like, so it wasn't like I was hearing my thoughts. It was I see the thoughts formulating and happening, and it's just like, okay, we're gonna send this thought out right now. We're gonna send this thought out right now. You know, so then I asked myself 3 questions, or myself asked me 3 questions, and it was just like, what are you doing? And prior to that, I was prepping myself to kill myself, right? So I would put the gun underneath my neck and pull the trigger and embody that feeling, like, and then be like, yes. So, you know, like, make this a cool thing. Like, I'm about to kill myself, you know, because you're trying to psych yourself out to do something that you don't really want to do. But, you know, like, you would rather do that than to sit with the agony and the pain and the embarrassment and the hurt, when it's really not as bad as it seems, right? And so I'm in this space, and I remember, well, like, what are you doing? You know, and I was just like, I'm about to kill myself. And that was how myself answered the question, right? Then it asked again, like, what are you doing? I was like, I'm about to kill myself. Like, this is cool. And then the third time was when I had the self-realization. It was just like, what are you doing? I was just like, I'm about to kill myself. Ding.
Oh my
Ding. Ding.
Wow.
The timer. So now the timer goes off, and it just sucks me out of that space. And I'm like, what was that? What was that? What was that? So from that, you know, then tears started just streaming down my face. Like, I was just like, what was that? And I said, whatever that is, I'm going to be in the presence of that and chase that for the rest of my life. And from that moment on, I never wanted to harm myself ever again. And yeah.
Wow.
And
Damn,
that's my
dude.
story.
That's fucking epic, dude. Oh my god.
Thank you so much for sharing that.
You're welcome.
Oh my gosh. I mean, to be that vulnerable,
Yeah.
I mean, that requires a lot of strength to be able to share something like that, and to, you know, to be in the position where you're in now from a position like that. I mean, that's like one of the most beautiful things you could ever imagine happening in life. So, I mean, I just want to, you know, share my gratitude for that story that you shared, because, I mean, you know, I came from a similar background. I never got into NFL, but I did play football, you know, in high school, and I got injured pretty bad. And playing sports was basically my whole life. So I went through like the same kind of trials and tribulations that you were talking about, maybe not to the degree that you were discussing, but I could feel everything that you were saying. And there was definitely a part of me at that time when I was thinking like, you know, what am I going to do with my life? Like, I really feel like my life is over now. All my friends play football and they're at practice or playing the game, and I got hurt so bad that I couldn't even go to the games if I wanted to watch them. And so I felt so disconnected from everything that I knew. And that seemed exactly like what you're talking about. And yeah, I'm just so grateful that somebody who, you know, lived that life to the fullest degree that you have, and to go through those trials and tribulations, and then to come out on the other side where you're trying to help people, you know, who may be going through a similar thing. I can't say enough how much I admire that. You're an incredibly honorable person.
Oh, thank you so much, brother. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, so from your story, I mean, your story, that was pretty much the most epic, the most like powerful story that I've ever heard anybody tell about meditation. And then I've heard a lot of amazing meditation stories, but it literally saved your life, like not like figuratively, like literally. And like, yeah, wow. But I wanted to ask you about a little bit about your experience in the NFL as having someone who had some experience with meditation, right? Because you were meditating at the monastery a little bit, just to kind of try to up your game, right? And you were using it at that time more as like almost like a productivity thing, like as like a winning thing, like a domination thing. And then I guess maybe on that day on the cushion in the ray of light, it became a little bit of a different thing. It was a little bit more of like a soul thing, a happiness thing, a life thing. You know what I mean? And I kind of wanted to get an idea. This is one of the questions that I had written down about like what it was like for you in the NFL as someone who practiced meditation. Like, what was like, did you feel like you were out of place because of that? Like, did you feel like a little at odds with the culture of the NFL, or did you feel like that was something that a lot of the players were doing? Like, what was that like?
Yeah, so I definitely felt out of place, right? Because it's a lot of politics that goes into the game. And so when you don't fit that category, then you can be ostracized as quickly as you were accepted, right? So, so I was different, you know, and being in that environment, there's a lot of animosity. There's a lot of ego and there's a lot of tension and there's a lot of cantankerous energy, right? And so you're trying to practice this Zen-like practice. And at the time, you know, I'm not sure if I was the only one doing it, but at the time, it didn't seem like many of my other teammates were into that. All right. And so I'm into this and I'm trying to like find my peace within my power. But I really didn't have the extensive knowledge, that I have now. And so I was just kind of doing it, in hopes of something magical happened. But the one thing that, like I wouldn't do what other people were doing. I remember I grew up my beard at that time. And so I had this big beard and I had coaches telling me I should cut it. I'm just like, what do you mean I should cut? Like, no, cut your own hair. Like, don't tell me to cut my beard, and because when I was at the monastery, it was, don't cut your beard because it holds the energy, right? It maintains the energy when you have hair on your head. So in that case, I didn't have much hair on my head. So, so all of my energy was in my beard. And so that was the reason why I grew my beard. And it goes for everybody. And so, I was doing these things that they would not be conducive or accepted in this arena that I'm in. Right. And so, and it seemed like it goes against the grain on the outside. And I was just trying to do everything that I needed to do to fit in, but not fit into all of the rules and the regulations that they have for football. Because what was challenging was that I'm looking to be my own person. I get drafted in the 4th round. That's still a decent draft round, but it's not the 1st round, right? When you get drafted in the 1st round, you get a preferential treatment. You get treated differently, right? And so since I did not get treated in that, drafted early on, the treatment was different, but my mindset was still like a 1st round pick. My mindset was just like, like, I'm better than this person. I'm better than this person. Like I don't think you really understand my ability to grow. My potential to grow is limitless. Like you don't get it, but I needed a mentor or someone to help me navigate through this this environment that I was unfamiliar with. Look, a lot of these college players, like now the kids are are prepped a little bit more just because they've seen so many people go through this whole process, right? And then like they have more of a community and a family to help them out. But man, for me, I was trying to learn everything on my own. It wasn't too many people that I trusted because I was still trying to figure out who to trust, and then you usually link up with your peers, and the only way you can link up with the veterans is if you do something that earns their respect. Like you're starting, you're playing, you're on the field, you're contributing, and so me practicing meditation was a bit awkward to a lot of people, and so I had to be okay with that. But when everything didn't pan out in the way that I envisioned it to, then I went back to like, man, I should have been like this. I should have been, kind of like kissing up and doing the things that I needed to do, instead of trying to stand my own ground. Like I need to fit in and be accepted. Because once I lost everything, I was overwhelmed by like, oh man, like I should have played the role, right? But I wasn't willing to play the role because in my mind I was just like, I'm going to be one of the best running backs in the NFL. Like y'all will see easily. There's like, because when things started clicking for me, they started trying me out at different positions and seeing what else I could do. I would stay after practice, and me and a couple other players would be catching balls from the jug machine, and start learning how to catch the ball with one hand, catch it right in front of you, hold your hands up, So you're constantly doing these things, and you start to see that you refine your skills, and once you refine your skills, you start to implement them on the field, and once everyone sees you, like, how you do that? It was the work that you put in, and your body doesn't forget it because it's muscle memory. So all of these things started playing out, and I write a lot about this in my book, Mindfulness for the Ultimate Athlete, and I just break down like how, like, okay, I was starting to see the game from a mental standpoint. The physical part was I was able to, cut down on my speed from a 4.5 to a 4.2 in 6 weeks by doing some hip exercises. And then, so everything was aligning for me, like up. And then they would just throw me out to go play wide receiver and run this route and figure this out. And I'm just like, okay. They threw it at me, started playing wide receiver. They were just like, wow, he can.
That's awesome.
It's pretty good, right? And so, when they did a write up on me, which they do for all players, is like your profile write up, and they put, so in college I had decent speed, but not breakaway speed. But when I went to the Ravens and I developed my speed, I learned how to run. They said I have superior speed because I started learning more about my body. I started learning more about my mind. I started learning more about the spirit inside of me, because I started figuring out, like, I was like, we're in the classroom. I was like, oh, I see it. It just started coming dialing in, because I remember my coach Brian Billick. He had got on me in the middle of practice, because like all the running backs, we didn't know to play, and it was one of the plays in the playbook that no one really looked at, no one paid attention to except the quarterbacks, because that's their role. They need to know all the plays, and so all the running backs we ran that play incorrectly, and I remember Coach Billick, out of all the running backs, he was just like, PJ, what the fuck? Get your shit together. Like, he's like, how you gonna go with the number ones when you effing this shit up? And it embarrassed me. But at the same time, I heard number one. What? You running with the number one? Did you just say that? And so, but my mom was fixated on him getting on me in front of everyone. So I go with my position coach, which now to figure out, this is like school. Like, your professor is the head coach. Your TA is your position coach. This arena is like school because we sit and we meet and we watch film. So now we're studying. So now I'll be a student of the game. So now when you take the test is when you go out on the field and you apply what you've learned, right? But for me, it was difficult for me to apply what I was able to comprehend in the classroom. But when I would get to the test, it's like I had test anxiety, right? I would forget my plays. Like I would be like, oh man, what's my assignment again? And so I had to do something that would simulate me exerting energy, but also at the same time memorizing the plays. And so I started doing like sit-ups, like 100 sit-ups, and I would do like 30 of those sit-ups first. And then on the 31st sit-up, I would start reading my note cards. You know, so I had to fight through the pain, but I had to also be cognizant of what I'm reading and remember, okay, like this is a 7-man protection, seven-man turn back protection, 6-man protection. Okay, I have this route on this, like, my stomach hurts, like just keep going, you know. So it allowed for me to focus. And so I was able to translate, you know, being in a classroom to on the field. And then that's when my game really started improving. I started gaining respect from everybody. And, you know, so all that, I say all that to say, that's how the game came to me, right? And so now, once it was taken away from me, I still have all these skills. So now after the game is over, I'm like, all right, well, how can I use these skills to make money? Like, you can't, right? So, because it's only like 1% of the 1% that make it. And now that you can't use those same skills, now you got to figure out some new skills. So you have to learn how to adapt. And, you know, meditation helped me adapt into that. And so when I was practicing meditation, I know that it was creating a foundation for me, or a safety net, because my journey, you know, if I did not have that practice at that time, then I definitely would not be here speaking to you and sharing this message. So that was a long way to answer your short question. Sorry about that.
Amazing. That was amazing. It was very insightful to hear about that.
Yeah. So like
Yeah, man. I mean, it sounds like you were like maybe coming to the meditation as a way to be like a better player, and that you were using, like, a lot of people use it for productivity. You know, there's kind of these two ways of looking at meditation. A lot of people look at it like a productivity tool. So a lot of people also look at it as a relaxation tool. And then I think that people who get really into meditation, they see it as beyond both of those things. It's more of like a life, like, spiritual tool that's like goes beyond like productivity and relaxation both. But it sounds like you started out with that productivity thing, and then you kind of, like, on that day on the cushion, it kind of became that like life thing that like kind of blows your mind, and it goes way beyond anything else, and it became your life, you know. And I think that maybe that's why right now that's your whole purpose in life, is to do what you're doing, to help other players to become more, you know, mindful and be in like that sort of spirit place. And I know that you wrote that book, Mindfulness for the athlete, or what was it called exactly? Mindfulness for the ultimate athlete.
Yeah, mindfulness for the ultimate athlete. And so I'm a high performance mentor, and I work with high achievers and elite athletes, and athletes as well. But when I wrote this book, you know, it was mindfulness for the ultimate athlete. And so what I tell people is that we're all athletes in this game of life. You know, you got to remember that we all have to jump over some hurdles. We all have to, you know, reach our goal. We all want to score a touchdown. We all, you know, we're working in the first quarter, the second quarter, the third quarter, the fourth quarter, you know, when it comes to fiduciary things. Yeah, so, you know, so there's a correlation. And so that we're all 100%. Athletes, you know, and when you learn how to master the.
Yeah. I think Prince is frozen for a moment. I think he's got an internet issue, but Forrest, do you want to segue into your questions
your
about
power and your? Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah. Okay. So you froze for a minute, Prince. Are you still there? Oh, there
I'm still here.
All right. Cool. Forrest had a question, or he was telling me earlier that you had written more than just this Mindfulness for the Ultimate Athlete book, that you had written another book. Before, as you want to talk about that for a second, just you had a question about that.
Yeah, well, first of all, I'm super pumped to check out your book, your current one, the newest one, because I think that's going to be beneficial, for so many people, not just athletes. Like you were saying, we're all athletes, and we're all at practice right now. And certain times we're at practice, certain times we're at game time. And I definitely can see the value in having a strong meditation practice, and to hear it from somebody like you who has, gotten, so much success in terms of, achieving, being in that 1% of the 1% that you're talking about, being in the NFL, to hear how helpful meditation has been from that person's perspective, that really shed light on, how helpful it can be for us, like in our everyday regular lives, because there's many different ways that we could, practice skills that we're all training in to, to progress at, and maybe, in our own ways, become part of the 1% of the 1% of the pursuit that we're trying to follow, by using a practice like meditation, and getting people's advice, or getting advice from you. I think, you're one of the greatest people who, people could possibly listen to about that. But before I ask you about one of your other books, okay, I just want to make sure, here. You wrote a allegory for children to learn mindfulness, and I think that's an amazing thing. I absolutely love reading storybooks that have like a very deeper, more profound meaning to them that is geared towards children. And
Like the last
for
Airbender
many,
that you mentioned before. Yeah, the last Airbender that you mentioned before is a great example of that. Yeah, continue.
Yeah.
Keep it up. Keep going.
Yeah, so I would love to hear more about how you came to the idea of doing something like that, and to write a book that's, kind of written, for children, to help them learn these ideas and these exercises that you're coming across, in your adult life, being able to explain them, helpful to children. How did you come about that being an idea that you wanted to pursue?
Man, it's such a beautiful question. It was channeled to me. It was, I had the idea of wanting. I had this. So after I had my moment on the cushion, right? It was like I just had this moment of like, I need to help out everybody in the world.
Mhm.
And so my first time, my second time going to the monastery, because I like when I was playing football, I can only go for a small amount of time and then leave. So my second time going, I remember sitting down at the monastery, and spiritual leader, he was just like, sit. He was like, just sit beside me, right? And so I go and sit beside him, and he was just like, what does a brother do? Profession. And I was just like, I'm a football player. And then I said, oh, I'm a modern gladiator, because he is like so far removed from this our day-to-day human lives. Like it was certain stuff that I know he doesn't know. So I'm like, I'm a modern gladiator, so I play football. And so he was like, oh, beautiful. So at the age of, I was like 25 around that time. And so he basically, we were talking, small talk. And then afterwards, he was just like, you're going to be a leader for mankind. And then he walked away. And I was just like, wait, stop. I was like, oh, you just cannot put that pressure on me and then just walk away. And, and so I share that story because it led me to that moment on the cushion, then beyond to like this idea in my head when I was just like, man, what I went through, I don't want any kid to go through that, right? And so I need to do something for the kids right away. And so I said to myself, I'm going to write a book for them, and it's going to be about meditation. And at this time, meditation it wasn't talked about in the community, to be very transparent, right? And but not just in the Black community, just period, right? So, and you know, I was just like, man, I'm tired of everybody, because at that time I was getting a lot of resistance. People were telling me like, you weird, you're crazy, like you tripping, man. You worship the devil. I'm just like, what kind of shit? Like, what? Like, where are all these ideas coming from, right? Like, are you Buddhist now? I'm just like, no. So I had to figure out. So what I figured out was I wrote a book for kids using the word, the politically correct word, mindfulness, and not meditation.
Yeah.
You know, because I got a lot of pushback whenever I go to schools, but like, I can teach your kids meditation. They were like, okay, remove from the list, you know? And I was just like, man, what is it? And so I figured out it was mindfulness. So I wrote a book called Danny Yukon and the Secrets of the Amazing Lamp. And basically the character Danny was upon, you know, some of the things that I went through. And I collaborated on this book with one of my uncles, who was also, you know, going to the monastery, so which is also a monk. So we had a chance to like really take a complex idea and simplify it. Because if you can teach kids how to meditate, you can teach anybody how to meditate, right? And so we wanted to write a book that was talking to the spirit, right? And that's what I realized. It goes beyond. See, when you put these titles on the kids, it's more to it. It's, you know, because we all have something in common, and that's our spirit. And so we you know, wrote a book. We wrote a book. Well, he helped me write the book, but I wrote a book talking to the kids' spirit about mindfulness and meditation. And basically, my first book was a chapter book, and then the second book was a elementary version of the book, because I would go to schools and I'd be like, look at this book, you know, but it's for like a fourth or fifth grader. And so I had to go, I had to condense it, use the same material, use the same illustration, and then just, you know, put those little words in, give them like cliff notes, and break it down for the younger kids, like K5 or K3, and so that was the inspiration behind the book, man. So it just I woke up in the middle of the night, grabbed this little notepad, and I just started drawing, and then the next night I had another vision in my dreams that I was going the word imagine, right? So in my dreams, I remember looking at it, and I was just like, this is so clear. I cannot wait till I wake up and I'm gonna write this stuff down. And so I remember when I woke up, it wasn't clicking. I just remember I wrote the word imagine down, and I was just like, something else goes with it. And then I kept saying, you know, like something like I'm a genie was in my dream as well. So I'm a genie, imagine. I'm a genie, imagine. And it finally broke down for me, and it was add an apostrophe behind I. No. I am a. Okay, yeah. So just separate the rest of the word now. So I am a Gine. So imagine I'm a genie.
Oh, wow.
And so that's when I was like, oh shit, it's like it's on, you know. So then I start writing the book, and then from there,
that's amazing.
yeah, it just kind of it turned into something that was much bigger. This is like the elementary version of the book,
Oh my
but
gosh, that's amazing.
yeah, man. So everything it, like came together in such a organic and way that I was just extremely proud of it, man. And now, whenever I get the opportunity to, I my foundation donates these books to kids, you know, to help the student, the teacher, and the parent understand, you know, what mindfulness is, how to not judge the moment, but be in the moment, be present, enjoy this moment, and understand that the thoughts that you're thinking shape your environment. So when you can have more elevated thoughts, then you can you can do more elevated things, right? And so
Mhm.
you know, that was the desire and the drive behind creating the book, because I realized, like, dang, I almost trying to harm myself. You know what? I don't want any kid to go through this ever again. So I'm going to do something. I'm going to write a book that's going to be able to outlive me. You know, so if
Yes.
something were to ever happen to me, you know, I can pass this on to my kids.
Mhm.
And so, yeah, that was my reason behind writing the children's book.
That's amazing, and it seems like you are really living the dream. I mean, to accomplish the things that you have, and then to circle back and really give back, to the community. I mean, that's just and but the part that I really connect with is the children. You're really making sure you're connecting with the kids, because a lot of happens whenever we are kid influences us for the rest of our lives. And to maybe even just send them, plant one little positive seed into them,
Right.
that could make a huge difference, for the rest of their life. And so yeah, I mean, that, what can I say other than that? That's the kind of life that I would like to live, to do things like that. I mean, so
Me too. Me too.
that's amazing, man.
Yeah, man.
Man, I'm. I mean, look, you all are doing it right now. Like it's an honor to be, you know,
Yeah,
speaking
that's what
Meditation
we're
Magazine.
trying. Yeah, we're doing our
Yeah,
best, man. Yeah, we're doing our best,
yeah,
Yeah.
and I can see you're doing a great job too. And it's kind of beautiful that you went through this like fall from the NFL, and you fell so far. You fell to the very bottom, and then through meditation, now you've come up in this amazing new direction. Do you like? Do you feel like it's almost more fulfilling, like doing what you're doing now, than what you were doing in the NFL?
most definitely. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Just
Oh,
like I mean, so many opportunities and doors are opening up. I just got put on the list to speak to the NFL, the NBA.
nice.
You know, partnering. Just did a partnership with the former Mamba Academy. You know, so like it's from, you know, working hard, keeping your head down, and 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 staying focused on the the purpose, when it wasn't accepted due to, you know, everyone's perception. And now I've learned how to accept myself and don't even care about that, and how all these doors are just opening up, for me to walk right in and just do what I do best. And you know, most people are like, you need to be having interviews with Deepak Chopra, with Sadhguru, you know, with Oprah, with everyone. And you know, at first I was like, nah, but now I'm like, and so it is,
yeah,
because
Yeah.
the vibration, the energy is so strong and so potent. Like I'm just in joy.
Yeah.
yeah,
You know,
yeah,
I'm in bliss. I'm in love. I'm in the zone.
Yeah.
yes,
And and it's just like I understand what Neo was saying when he was in the Matrix. You know, you just see it, and there's nothing that I could do to explain to you. You know, it's just like I'm awake. And I realize it, and I see it, and I'm conscious of it. And if I could just just share with you, like, hey, all you gotta do is just do this. And I know it'll probably, you get to a point where you'll question everything, but just continue to keep doing it. And I guarantee you, you're going to see yourself in the way that you can see a seed grow from its seed form, sprout up out of the ground and grow into a flower or a tree. And when you can see yourself in that same process, then you have a self-realization of like, oh, right, we're all connected. Everything is connected. And you start get a chance to see the molecules, the atom.
Yeah, man. Can you still hear? Oh, I think your audio is off. Can you hear? Wait, Forrest, can you hear?
Yes, I can hear you. Yeah.
Okay, so Prince, I think your audio is off. We gotta. I think this was like a really beautiful. Can you hear? No, you can't. So we can't hear you anymore, Prince. But listen. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Put a thumbs up if you can hear me. You want to go back on your computer? Okay.
I'd like to say something before we close out, if that's okay.
Yeah. Just 1 second. Okay, so Prince, can you hear? No, I think go back on your computer, Prince. 1 second. Prince, go back on your computer. Can you see that? Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
good.
Okay, he can see. Okay, and I'd like to acknowledge just for a second, Rachel and Blake. Thank you for sending love to the other sides of the internets from Canada. I think both of you are in Canada, actually. I know Blake's in Canada, and Rachel said she's in Canada. So yeah, thank you for saying hi. We always love to. Here we go. I'm gonna put. Hey Prince, can you hear?
Yeah, I can. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Awesome. Yes. So I was just acknowledging some of the viewers that have posted comments and love from Canada, Blake and Rachel.
Nice.
Thank you guys. So Prince, we gotta wrap this up, and I think it's been a really beautiful way to end this conversation, talking about like your fall from the NFL and your rise into this new life. And I think that Forrest wanted to say something before we wrap up.
Yeah. Well, I have just one final question here that I think would be a great way to end things off here, and that is what kind of vision do you have for the impact that you want to make? At the end of the road, maybe much older. Hopefully, we all live long, happy lives. At least 2 or 3 times as long as we've been around currently.
Yeah.
But what do you see as like the kind of impact that you would like to make when you can feel that you're kind of at the end of the road, but that you've done the kind of work that you've wanted to do, through the time that you've had to spend? What would you say that looks like?
Everybody on planet Earth practicing meditation for 1 second. Everybody. What I realize is that we're so powerful, we don't even know how powerful we are. And we can consciously shift, our environment and the way that we live our life. And so if we can get everyone just for 1 second to think about like world peace, or think about, compassion, or think about equalizing, violence and peace, and finding a balance, or the ebb and flow, this world will be a better place. And so for me, my overall purpose, since I was dubbed at 25 that I was going to be a leader for mankind, right? Yeah. And for as long as I try to not accept that, it seems like I continue to organically grow into that. And I'm like, here we go, but I wake up enjoying that responsibility, because I understand that there's a lot of work to do here on planet Earth, and we came here to be of service, to help. So my overall vision is to get everybody to practice meditation for only 1 second at the same time. And then that way I've set the stage for the next generation who's always looking to outdo someone that has did something that was very impactful, right?
Yeah.
So now the next generation will be like, well, we're going to do three seconds. We're going to do 4 seconds, 5 seconds. And that has allowed for me to see it's in the same manner. When I was searching for something to give me the edge in football, it was helpful, but not in the way that I wanted it to be helpful. But it helped me in my transition, and it helped me in my life and what I'm doing right now. And so the same thing with just getting everyone to do that exact same thing together, collectively, 1 second. It's we're gonna shift the way that we view things, the way that we see people, the way we'll start seeing people, and they will see you, and we will start operating from our spirit, our heart, and then it's going to enrich and enhance the world. So that's it.
That's
Yeah.
amazing, and I just want to finish off my part here by saying that I just want to acknowledge you for all the amazing things that you're doing. Like I've been saying, you achieved an incredible level of success, as an athlete, and then you turned things around and you started like really helping people and focusing on making sure that people are helped in the same way that you got a lot of help. And to be honest with you, I mean, I'm incredibly grateful to be speaking with you. I feel like it's an honor, honestly, to be speaking with you, and I'm incredibly grateful to be around while you're around here, and we can have cool little conversations like this. I think this is what I want to do with my life. And to be able to talk to somebody like you, I mean, I can't imagine doing anything more meaningful to me in my life than having conversations like this and being able to share it with other people, so that we can all benefit from these incredibly valuable life lessons that we've gained. And you're a shining example of that. And anything that I can do to help you on your mission, I totally want to help you out. Like it's incredible what you're doing. So
Yeah,
thank
man.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I think we've all kind of, all three of us here and all the people that we've, interviewed in the past for Meditation Magazine. I think all of us kind of have the same feeling. We've had this very powerful experience of going from something very dark to something very beautiful through meditation. And we want to share it with the world because what better thing can you do with your life than share like bliss and true happiness. So yeah, I think that's kind of what we're all trying to do. And I'm glad to be speaking with a kindred spirit who's trying to do it. Also someone who's come from such a different place than me. Like from the NFL is like sort of like the farthest I can barely, throw a football. I can barely get one in my hand. Yeah, it's really cool to meet people like you that are just, from such a different place that are really like on that same mission. And we'll probably, I want to put you in one of our future issues. So you could just send me over some high res photos and we'll put you in one of our future issues. Not the next one. The next one is called Powerful Women in Meditation. So I don't think you're going to fit in that one very well.
It's okay, man. Look, like as I told you, without strain, man. I'm not looking for the praise. I'm just looking for the help, man. Because I'm here and I'm letting my light shine, man, and just it's so fulfilling to give back and to help. Man, it's just like we're spiritual beings having a human experience, and so when we understand that, and you connect with those spirits, and you're like, oh, did you know that you can fly? We're like, what? Stop! What are you talking about? Like, yeah, you got wings. Like, okay, well, yeah, whatever. And then you point them out, and then when people really recognize that they have wings, that they can fly, then they start flying. But it's about elevating their mindset and making them really believe that they can, and when they can, and when they see it, it's just like, I can fly. Why didn't you tell me this a long time ago? Like, I did tell you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's
Yeah,
a cool way to end off the podcast. We're definitely going to put you in not the next one, but the following issue. Thanks,
Yeah.
Rachel. Rachel is saying she definitely wants to see you in one of the upcoming issues.
Oh,
so
thank you, Rachel.
send me over some high-res photos on the
will do.
emails, and we'll be. All right. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank
Prince
you.
Daniel Jr. It's been a pleasure talking to you.
It's been a pleasure. It's been a pleasure meditating and talking with both of you. It was an honor. Thank you so much.
I look forward to bringing more meditation to the world with you, man.
Let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it, man. All right. See you later.
All
Have a good night.